Coming up on American Medicine Today, the future of healing lies in genetics. Dr. Kamran Shazand tells us how his team is sequencing the human genome to create better lives for children. Then Jonathan was suffering from lower back pain due to a fall at work. After receiving exclusive procedures from the Bonati Spine Institute, he is happy to be back to his active lifestyle pain-free. Finally, Dr. Bonati discusses DirectTV canceling conservative voices such as Newsmax TV. How is this Marxist mindset acceptable? Find out coming up on American Medicine Today.
Featuring cutting-edge science and medical innovation, touching personal stories of recovery from pain, along with political, social, and healthcare issues plaguing our nation. This is American Medicine Today, brought to you by the Bonati Spine Institute and Alfred Bonati, MD.
Welcome to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bonati alongside Ethan Youker and world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Bonati. Our next guest and his team have been working diligently over the years to sequence 5,000 genomes each year to fulfill their vision of using genetics to improve the quality of life for sick children. Joining us is Dr. Kamran Shazand, director of the Shriners Children's Genomic Institute. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Certainly. So tell us about the science of genomics and about the work in the Genomics Institute.
Sure, with pleasure. We have started this Genomics Institute about 4 years ago from scratch. So that is really a brand new activity for the Shriners Hospital system. Our main goal is basically bringing genomics to the service of our traditional medicine that has been around for more than 100 years, helping kids. We have 20 hospitals in the US, one in Canada, one in Mexico City. And we have many international outreach clinics where our surgeons go and offer free service of surgery for kids in need. What we want to do with the genomics addition to this extraordinary activity is to modernize somewhat this practice by bringing the support of the genetic and genomic knowledge to the treatment of the kids and go towards the model that is recognized today as precision medicine.
I guess genetics interacts with aging. Can you sort of delve into that?
Well, aging is a very complex process, biologically and scientifically speaking, but it has also many different ramifications. Humans are both fascinated and scared of aging. One of the reasons, the main reason is that it's the major source of disorders, which takes us into a bad quality of life and suffering. And the other more philosophical aspect of it is fear of death. But as of the scientific aspect of it, certainly the genetics play an extraordinarily important role in aging, because the aging process itself, which happens mainly with our DNA, our genome accumulating mutations, which is the normal process in every animal or every human's life. And on the other side is what we inherit from our parents and from our ancestors that have a direct impact on this already existing aging process. So these are really the two major components of aging at this point.
And is that really where the mapping of that comes into play?
Yes. There has always been, as I said, it's a fascination that we humans have for aging process. And there has always been extensive research on that. And as a result, we actually significantly were able to increase the average lifespan over time.
Don't we also have the opportunity to eliminate some genes that they are genes that they create not only illnesses or deformities or syndromes, but at the same time, they are genes that they can affect the aging. Are we working, or we do have any idea about that?
Yes. As I said, the regular aging process basically comes from our DNA damage, as I said. Over time, as DNA divides in the dividing cells in mitosis, it accumulates mutations because there are errors introduced in our DNA. And over time, statistically, this number of mutations goes up. These damages have many, many consequences. One of them is what is called telomere shortening. Our DNA starts getting shorter and shorter from the two extremities. And that obviously eliminates many genes. We lose the capacity of producing those proteins that come from those genes. Microbiome of our guts get disturbed and the nature of the bacteria change. So basically the whole physiology of the body changes over time. And our mitochondria, for instance, that are the organelles in our cells that are an energy factory that build our ATP, which is the molecule of energy, they start going down, we lose energy. The free radicals that generate oxidative stress and that increase all this phenomenon of aging go up, and it's a kind of vicious circle that starts going on, and the DNA goes basically worse and worse over time.
Isn't there anything we can do to kind of lengthen that time frame where everything kind of stays fresh and it doesn't degrade through the aging process?
Yes, absolutely. So, as I said, there's extensive research on that, and in a very early stages of that research that we are right now, because, as you know, genetics just is booming right now with the discovery of extremely powerful platforms such as next generation sequencing that we are using at Shriners. And by that, we discover all the variants in our genome, and we can understand how it works. We can also reduce the level of damage on the DNA and battle basically all the disorders that are consequences of those mutations.
I think it's amazing the work that you guys do over at Shriners. But is this something where we could expect people in the future maybe to live past 100 and in the upper hundreds to almost 200, or are we just being a little crazy?
No, thanks.
There's again the social aspect of it that we need to consider as well. Science is one thing, but the consequences of it is another thing.
Yes.
The positive consequences of living longer is that we spend more time with our families, with our loved ones. We are in better shape. At the same time, pharma companies make more profit because we take more and more medication. But the downside of it is the increase of ill population across the planet, the healthcare costs, the social burden, the food and water resources that become really limiting and that sort of thing.
You can remove the debris that is being accumulated in DNA and then create at the same time a better DNA by eliminating those parts. Is that what they're trying to do?
Yes, and it's already happening actually for a few disorders. This therapeutic approach, which is called gene editing, is already happening for thalassemia, for a few number of cancers, where people can actually correct on the DNA the mutations that are causative for these disorders and implement the right base in the DNA chemistry that brings back basically the life to the normal status. It seems really sci-fi, but it is happening right now, and the protocols are getting more and more robust. And actually at Shriners, it's one of our hopes that by the time we discover all those variants for these kids' disorders, we would be able to, in the mother's womb, go and correct those mutations so that at birth, the kid is already in good health.
Incredible technologies, and we're so happy to have you on the program. Dr. Kamran Shazand, thank you for being on the show and explaining more about the genome and what's going on at Shriners Hospital for Children in the Genome Institute and all the headway that you're making there. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Make sure you stay tuned. Coming up after the break, a story of recovery. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati Spine Procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented the precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati Spine Procedures, they consistently reflect 98.75% patient satisfaction. 75,000 procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Visit askbonati.com. Welcome back to American Medicine Today. I would like to welcome to the program Jonathan Wrightson. Jonathan, why don't you tell us how you came to be in pain? Were you in an accident, or was this just wear and tear degeneration over time?
Yeah, it started many years ago, just about 3 decades ago. I fell in the back of a truck, a big rig working at UPS, landed on my back. And ever since then, I've had some issues. And then I joined the Marine Corps just about a year after that, and it just got progressively worse in the Marine Corps to the point that I got medically discharged after 4 years. And so it got a little bit better, and I've just kind of dealt with it for the time being, and for the last 30 years. And it would flare up, put me down for a week or two.
So why don't you tell us where on your body you felt the pain and how that was impacting your daily activities?
It was in the lower back. It shot down the left leg. The sciatic nerve is what everybody diagnosed it as. And it would get intense to the point that I would have to lay down.
Did it cause any weakness in the leg when you would walk?
Yeah, it did, especially the last 7 months before the surgery. Yeah. It got really bad. I mean, to the point where I was just twisting my ankle almost on a daily basis. It was pretty rough.
Okay. And what did you do at that point? What type of treatments did you utilize? Did you use medicines? Did you try conservative type treatments to help?
Yeah, I went to a chiropractor. I've been going to a chiropractor for years. Yeah. I felt like maybe it was helping, but obviously it didn't, because it just would flare up so bad at times. And so then here the last 7 months, they even did an epidural about 3 months before I came down to Bonati Institute. That didn't help. I mean, it didn't touch it. And I was on pain medicine pretty much the last 7 months. I lived on pain medicine, and I'm not a pain medicine guy. I hate the stuff. I know too many guys that have gotten hooked on it. But I couldn't even work. I own a real estate company and a remodeling business of my own, and couldn't do anything.
Well, where are you calling in from?
From Emerald Isle, North Carolina. Okay.
So from North Carolina, how did you make your way to the Bonati Spine Institute in Hudson, Florida?
Well, I think I found it on Instagram.
Okay.
And I think it just popped up because I had been searching for something for my back, just something that would make it better. I was trying stretches and following different guys online that taught different stretches. Nothing helped. And I came across Bonati Spine Institute and just thought, well, I'll give it a shot. So
we are glad that you did, because Dr. Bonati changed the industry forever. He created his patented and exclusive Bonati Spine Procedures, and they are drastically different from everything else in the marketplace. He saw the ineffectiveness of traditional spine surgery and the ungodly recovery and how it really wasn't helping people. He also saw people that had been fused and they had a chain reaction where they needed more and more and more surgeries and nothing was helping. And he almost left spine surgery because he became so disheartened. And then the epiphany of the Bonati Spine Procedures. Now, why don't you talk about coming to the Institute and what that face-to-face interaction was like with the doctor?
It was great. It was probably the best, especially with my back, visit to a doctor I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because y'all are doing an interview. It was really so much different. Dr. Wolf was the surgeon. And from the very first time we met with him, he was the first person to really explain what was going on in my back, showed me the MRI. And I've been to, I wouldn't doubt if I've been to 10 different doctors for my back. And he was the first one to really kind of walk me through the MRI, show me what was happening, and show me what Bonati Institute could do to make it better. So that was the big difference for me.
Well, how did you feel? Were you on edge at all? Because, it is surgery.
This guy's a Marine. Do you think he was worried? Come on.
No, I was. Anytime I've had several surgeries, but this was my back, and I've not had any surgery on my back yet. I've put it off, and just know too many guys in the Marine Corps that had to have it, and it made them so much worse after they had it. And so I honestly never thought that I would have it, but it got so bad I had to do something.
Okay.
I was a little bit on edge. Any type of surgery, kind of makes you worry. But the anesthesiologist, I wish I could remember his last name. He was phenomenal. And then Dr. Wolf and the staff there, it felt like I had known him forever. So.
And well, let's talk about that. When did you notice a relief of the pain that brought you in? We do everything incrementally, targeting each specific pain. But when did you feel a difference?
Right away. It's really strange because you wouldn't think after having a surgery that you'd get up from the table and just not have any pain. But I got up, and from the first time I got up, I felt better. And honestly, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but the day after my second surgery, we stayed at Weeki Wachee on the water. And I had my 16-year-old son with me, and he begged me to go kayaking with him. And honestly, we live on the water, and I haven't been able to kayak in 7 months. And so I was very careful, didn't let anything get wet. And but I was able to actually do things that I couldn't do just a day before my surgery.
You got into the kayak.
Yeah. I shouldn't tell you all that, but yeah. Well, I couldn't put it off. We were watching, and the manatees were going by, so it was amazing.
So here you are, 1 day post-surgery, back in a kayak.
Yeah, but I didn't have to paddle much. My son was with me, so.
Shame on you. When I ask how you are, you're already back to your activities. There was like zero downtime for you. And, following your procedures, how are you now?
Oh, so good. It showed me how bad my right knee is. I got to find someone to do surgery on my knee now. But I haven't even paid attention to my knee much because the back was so bad. But I mean, there's nothing I'm limited to now with my back. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your story of recovery with us. And when you do things like kayaking or just fun activities, post those pictures on Facebook. We love to see the patients regain their strength and get back in motion.
We'll do.
When you were released from the Bonati Spine Institute, were you told to wear any sort of back brace, anything like that?
No, nothing.
Right, because we don't. We tell people just to get back to it, to ambulate, to move around, and aid the body in the healing process.
To go kayaking and things like that a day after.
That's right.
Don't know about directly after surgery, but hey, you're setting new records for us. So continued good health and healing, and thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. My pleasure.
Take great care. So if you would like to see more stories just like Jonathan's, go to YouTube and search the Bonati Spine Institute. Thank you for listening to the story of recovery. On the flip side of the break, you'll hear what's new in American medicine today.
I think everybody was shocked, like, really, you had surgery today? I had a drain tube. I was at my desk doing payroll for 200 employees, worked till night, got up, went to bed.
Actually, the recovery was great. I mean, I really immediately felt the difference. I was able to go back to work within a couple of days.
The progress after each procedure was amazingly good. The recovery, all told, has been phenomenal.
We went to the Bonati Institute, and that was the day, the turning point in my life. This type of surgery is so much more advanced, and the recovery time is so much less that it's just a no-brainer. If you've got pain, go to Bonati.
This is the honest to God truth. And was recovering, I didn't feel anything. The pain that I was suffering is gone. I can go back to work in like 3 days.
The surgeries that I had, actually, I recovered very easily from, I would say. I actually went to work the following afternoon.
That afternoon, when it was done, I actually felt so much better already.
6 days after surgery, I was back in the gym, slowly but surely working my way back to fighting, back to basically 100% of fighting, So 6 days, and everybody was in awe, like, didn't you just get out of surgery? I'm like, yeah, I feel great. And like, okay, let's see how you do. And I was rolling with everybody, and I'm in the advanced class. So that sounds a lot right there.
First time I came in here was Monday, and today is Thursday. I've had 2 surgeries and am doing fantastic. I'm still in shock that I can walk. That's all within 4 days.
Bonati succeeds where others fail. Welcome back to American Medicine Today. So, topic of concern continues to be DirectTV and AT&T's exclusion and removal of Newsmax. Why are they still trying to remove conservative voices from TV?
For first time, the left start to see the impact of a television station who can give the right information to the citizens. Mm-hmm. No lies, no interference with the truth or with the facts.
Right.
So they are petrified of several things. They're petrified that Trump will come back in 2024, and they are not going to be able to control the indoctrinations that they are accustomed to do. Since the beginning of this type of program 10 years ago, or almost 10 years ago, I always said the way to control the system that is unfair and one-sided information is to get other televisions that they create and give the information of the conservative view. Well, for the first time, we have a real conservative view because Fox is tinted. The direction of the administration, Fox, is left-sided.
Correct.
So they talk about that being conservative, but they're not conservative. Mm-hmm. So for the first time, we have a conservative television station that scared the hell of them. Mm-hmm. And that immediately creates an issue how to use the power of the Democratic control at that time, Congress, to be able to give some type of a direction to avoid that this channel continue giving right information.
Sure.
Or conservative information. I don't see any movement on the conservative side, for example, the House of Representatives.
Well, actually, McCarthy just said that they're bringing it to the floor.
Well, a lot of talk. The Democrats, they put you in jail in 2 minutes and they close your system in the second time.
Right.
So we talk. It's absurd.
Talk is cheap, as they like to say.
Yes.
It is to justify the position that they are being paid to do nothing. I really think that once for all, we need to start to talk. Who are the individuals that we select that they are going to represent us? And then we need to demand action. If you are going to affect the freedom of speech or the free press, you have a problem because that type of a problem will allow me to go and ask to the FCC what type of a contract they have with AT&T to be able to broadcast.
Right.
And then at the same time, will give to me an opportunity to review this contract and see why a situation like this is not immediately a repercussion to stop the license of these two companies.
They claimed it had nothing to do with politics, but that it really came down to money, and they didn't have the money to pay Newsmax what they should make. However, Newsmax brought all the ratings. They were one of the tops.
I want to know what are my rights. And my rights are respect of my free speech, and my rights are the free press. If any one of those are being affected, I want to know what is the repercussion. And if the government give license to AT&T and give license to DirectTV, our representatives should go and say, you already default the rights of your license. So your license is suspended. You will see how fast the Democrats would do that.
Well, they already removed OAN, so everyone's in an uproar because of Newsmax, the one and only conservative channel, true conservative channel. And now they're trying to do it with Newsmax. So it is 100% political, and they aren't in talks. They already made the decision. So this was purposeful, and they did it right as President Trump threw his hat in the ring for president for 2024.
Interesting, right?
Funny how that lines up.
What is the solution?
Remove the license.
Yes, that is the solution.
Devil's advocate, though, Doc, because it's a private company, can't they kind of decide what they want to allow on their air as a provider?
No. As a citizen, on my rights to have a free speech and a free press, and you have your license based on that, you are not providing a legal type of information, and you are using politics for your behalf in your side. That is practically control of the press.
Yeah.
If you are doing that, the license should be immediately suspended.
Well, I know that there's ways too. People can contact their Congress people and the representatives.
Why are you going to contact the Congress people? They are lazy, irresponsible, and they don't have brains.
Why doesn't someone like a Larry Elder, a Dinesh D'Souza, a President Trump, Mike Lindell, Salem News, why don't all these conglomerates band together and create their own cable company?
I think we need to create several television stations.
Right.
And every television station needs to be in a conservative view and needs to be supported by conservatives. Where are the individuals that we hire to represent us? A lot of talk, representative
lip service is cheap.
Yeah, because they want the media outlet to talk, saying that they are doing the job. No, they're not doing the job. The job should be done in 24 hours. The license should be suspended.
I agree. Well, make sure you check us out next week on American Medicine Today. Thank you for watching, and you can check out our show anytime. It's on YouTube. Search American Medicine Today. If you have any comments or questions, contact us at the number below. You can tweet at Dr. Bonati using hashtag American Medicine Today or hashtag AMT. We would like to hear from you.